We are in the mix. We're learning as we go. I guess Randy kind of knows.
You're
learning
as you go. I'm
9-10 suited. You'd much rather have the 8-9 suited. It's sort of like what, 5-6-7 suited maybe, or 5-6 suited, that type of hand.
no, it's much better than that actually. Yeah,
Like 7-8 suited.
yeah, but the all-in playability in this game is so much better. You just wouldn't jam 5-6 suited in No Limit Hold'em, right? Like 9-8 suited, you're flipping with Ace King. Bonomo's got Ace King. He's gonna jam all in here.
Oh, so maybe the reverse. 8-9 suited's like 9-10 suited.
Yeah, I would suppose. But then again, it's just a different game a little bit.
Right.
Post flop, I would say yes. All in for Bonomo. Ming Zhong Lu is our first player at risk. Look at the odds. It's 54-44.
就是没关系才敢推了嘛，SP 单不敢推。
545.
Let's get that flop. Any clubs, any 9, any 8 to save Ming Zhong Lu.
This is wide open.
漂亮。
That is pretty dry.
Yeah, it's very, very bad. They always say there's always a sweat on the turn.
Always is a strong word, Randy. Let's see if you can back that up.
Backed it up.
Back it up, Randy Lou. How do you know? The club feels powerful in Bonomo's hand here. He has a club, takes away one of the outs. There's already no 2, 3, 4, or 5 of clubs, so he is down to 4 outs, 1 to come. River is, oh, it's black, but not enough. He sees the stuff set in, but just looks like a nice guy. Smiles, having fun. Made some nice win for it early on. And he will be our 7th place finisher. Getting a nice score there, though. Nothing to sneeze at. 482,200 re-raised to squeeze out of the big blind. That hand stands out, as well as folding full house on a 10-10-9-9 board with a 10. And there's no overcard. Would have needed to lose to quad 9 specifically, and he did fold. So, couple of 8s. 9-10 off, king 10 off. See the equities, how close everything is. Man, lucky 8. 8 is a powerful number. That's on the back of the Triton gear here. I got a couple shirts this week with the 8 on the back. They are coming in waves on the sets. Bottom set and top. 10s are gone. No one has a spade. Not one player has a spade, and Ace King is going to go for it here. He's going to... Bonomo has got such a powerful hand. A set just feels so good. There he is. Pretty favorable spot, Mr. Bonomo. Ace King does turn out. 14% is a gut shot with 1 to come. A little different than Hold'em. 9% it would be, so significant, almost 1.5 times better chance. So 8s are vulnerable.
刚才 K 哥那把是拎回来的、啊。
对。
那什么鬼都拎。
Well, more money will be going into this pot. And he is going to need a little bit of help. Not going to get it. So 2 8s look pretty good here if you're Bonomo. You don't lose to a ton of hands. I mean, Jack 9, King Jack. It was an under the gun limp. This is important, right? What hands is Liang playing? Ace King like this, Jack 10. You know, does he have King Jacks here? King Jack suited? Would he limp? I mean,
yeah, probably. I'd say it's very realistic. Should be trying to get the showdown because it's so crazy of a board. Wow, a check from a set of 8s. I think that's a bit conservative.
Yeah, I would have gone for it, and I'm definitely conservative, but I don't know. Bonomo, at the same time, he feels that this is an important time in the tournament.
Trip 7s for Bonomo. Going to just try to hope the dealer button, the one to perceive to hit the 7, to take a stab. Doesn't work, but Paul actually catches up. Maybe Bonomo wants to fire now. There are some straight draws. The 9, the 10. A Jack could easily connect with someone. Some clubs. Can't really see Paul getting away from King Jack. Is he going to be able to? Someone could be value betting worse, like Queen Jack, Jack 10. Check, check. Paul's been grinding down.
.55% favorite Queen 10 suited over King 6 suited. That is a members roll flop. Guys enjoying it? Anyone like, what do you think? Short deck more? Do you like No Limit more? The No Limit Hold'em, now they say long deck around here, but short deck versus the regular deck. Short deck referencing 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s are removed from the deck. So we get a bet and a call, and King 6 does pick up equity, was in big trouble versus the Queen 10. Gets called, so can't love that when he gets called on the flop. Let's see how Justin proceeds here. Wow, so when he gets checked too, it's just so sneaky by Wai King Yong to check back the queen. Maybe looking to pounce on a big river spot. Think Justin make him feel safe. With this particular run out, I mean, this is power. The king high flush actually beats even a full house. And he's gonna bet probably, I bet small, which is super interesting. You would think he'd bet big, but maybe just when his opponent checks the turn, he thinks he doesn't ever have a queen. It's targeting a king X, king jack, king 10. Maybe inducing, maybe betting this sizing, hoping his opponent could even raise. Love jack 10 miss, somehow a thing. And with the sizing, this may just work. Yeah. Pretty unlucky. I like the plan from Y King Young, but it's going to go right into the second nuts, and this is certainly going to get raised from Bonomo. I mean, he beats. I guess he loses the quads, and then he loses the ace high backdoor flush. Wouldn't make much sense. So, I mean, it's just basically the nuts. It is. I mean, it's as pretty as it's going to get. And his opponent may just have a full house. That's the crazy part. So how big does he go? 2.2. How big does he go? He's got to go. He's got to put something on. His opponent likely has a full house. Maybe somehow has a lower flush, but likely a full house. Called the flop bet. Could have 8. Yeah, this is going to be upstairs.
$2.2 million.
2.2 million. Call a doctor. We're in the Matrix. Calling out bet sizings in the game that I am definitely not aware of.
On the tee. Maybe I'll buy some action after all.
That was pretty strong. Man, you can verify I'm not, sweating updates. I'm just in here in the Matrix, focused in. And Y King Young is understanding the severity of the situation, that he is not loving it, but Justin capable of bluffing, turning maybe an ace of diamonds into a bluff. What else? What other bluffs would he have? Yeah, he just has better hands. Queen. Yeah, I don't know how he can call how it's played, but time bank has been invested.
The one thing that crosses your mind is, okay, sure, the guy's representing a flush, but then you're like, but a flush is so hard to make.
Another thing that might represent that he's got to think he bets the flop. Let's say, what flop bets is he going to bet the flop with and then sort of surrender on the turn, right? Like if he had Jack 10 of diamonds, if he had ace Jack or ace 10 of diamonds, he's probably going to follow through on the turn, I would guess. So like the fact that he bets the flop, checks the turn, and then goes for it on the river, it's almost like a king X of diamonds, right? Like there's not a lot of possibilities there. That's sort of an interesting.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Then again, all these guys are so high level, it's kind of like, well, you know this, I know that.
Yeah, for sure.
Lots of unique plays can be made, as we've seen so far at this final table.
He's very intrigued. He's having a hard time with this one, as rightfully so. His particular holding, the run out, the back door. He knows flushes are such a tall order. He loses to full houses too.
Yeah, I guess the question is, does my opponent raise a full house? Because then there's more hands. If not, then it's a flush and only a flush, and definitely changes things.
Y King on into the time bank tank. Ran into Paul. I asked him if they would put the shot clock, the custom shot clocks in the Triton store. I think that's a good ad. That thing might be a hot ticket. That'd be good for some home games out there. What do you think one of those run? I don't know.
Probably a lot. I mean, everything's so high quality.
Yeah, and it's custom. They should give you a time bank with the Triton trophy. You should have it come with it. This is a crazy hand. We're seeing some fun stuff. I think he's... Man, I don't know. I'm not going to guess. What are you going to guess, Randy? I might piggyback you here. I think he's using a lot of time banks.
Sometimes the more time banks you use, the more...
Think long, think wrong.
You start creating some bluffs that might not actually be there. Nice laydown.
How many did we? 3.
I didn't know. I actually couldn't have. I almost randomized the thought, and I didn't even know. It was just so...
Yeah, you would have used the 100K watch randomizer. It's not a short stack at all. It definitely is very playable.
Oh, you know, it's the difference if you're Liang Xu, then people know you're solid. Like if you're Rui Kao and you have trips on that spot, you're actually gonna get called by a queen a lot more often. So it's important to be aware of that as well.
Yep, every player has something. 2 jacks are in the lead. See what Bonomo does. Bonomo now on the short stack with 4.8 million.
60 antes, it's getting precarious for him. 60 antes is kind of the equivalent of 25 big blinds, so somebody opens and he looks at something that's nice, three-handed, money goes in.
Yeah. He's going to hook on a customer here. Wow. It's a relevant card for Liang, jumps into the lead. And I think it's really interesting in Hold'em that this happens a lot when you have draws or situations and you're making maneuvering boards. You have to think about what comes and how does that help my hand or another player's. In short deck in particular, there's a lot of situations where since the 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s are removed, there's only so many cards that can come out, and you have to think, all right, well, if I have ace-8 here, I make an ace or an 8, how does that affect my hand? What are bad cards? In this particular spot, he just figured, you know, if I hit an ace or an 8, I could play a pretty big pot and have a clear, you know, nice spot. There's sometimes when you're drawing, or if you hit your hand, you're going to make a bigger straight to your lower straight. And I think here that was just part of it. He said, I got middle pair, top kicker, I might have the best hand, and he got basically the best card in the deck.
Yeah, and people like to bet a lot, so if...
To showcase their talents here. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's just, it gives us a glimpse into this whole different high-stakes world that, you know, pretty much covers half the world if you look at it, all the action, and it's, I mean, imagine, you know, whenever the first guys, Ivy and Tuan and Trickett and all those guys went to Macau to play, imagine if we had these tournaments back then on TV, we would have known, we would have been able to follow the whole journey, and
yeah.
It's just a treat that we get to have that now, and really special too, because I don't know. In my personal opinion, it's the most fun high stakes to watch because of it feels old school. You know, you have all these characters, and it's yeah, it gives me that same feel as like high stakes poker back in the day. And
wow, what a card from the heavens! But as it plays, it's not really that crazy. It's not going to get too out of hand, but there are some. I mean, Wai King Young has a 7 would make a straight. Liang could get in trouble with a 9, but I mean, Bonomo does just strike. He limped in here, so it was one hand too late. He limped the queen jack off, got popped. Then he limps the aces, doesn't get resistance, and Liang probably thinking to myself, you know what? I got a 9. What is Bonomo repping? He limped. He's leading now after checking. The thing is, he's got to think, what's he limping? So from his perspective, Bonomo probably doesn't limp with an 8 in his hand. So what does he have? He doesn't. He just has. I guess he would limp 9s. He limps other hands, but I think that's what was maybe crossing his mind. What does he have here? Jack 10. He looked very curious.
Just folds a 9 for 2 antes, no problem.
Correctly. You know, it's like every hand your ante is visibly in front of you, even though big blind ante format tournaments, technically you're anteing each time for everyone, but it makes you feel a little more connected to every pot to fight for it.
Yeah, it's so much bigger in this format too, so.
Yeah.
It's, he definitely, we heard Danny Tang, I think talk to you about that, right? Where he said it's so dangerous to get anteed out in this tournament.
Well.
And if you get to a point with 30 antes, it's just like people just not going to fold anything anymore. It's queen 10 suited. Yes, of course I have to call. You know, it's kind of.
Yeah, you want to stay out of that danger zone. Everyone clear of that right now, but it is really evening up here. Bottom pair, backdoor flush draw, both players backdoor straight draws, and it's a money card.
There you go. That is a pretty nice 2 outs there, but at the same time, you know, Liang Xu, enough reason to not drown too deep in this hand. He's had excellent spider sense when it comes to staying out of trouble. I like the bet by Bonomo on the flop, specifically also because he blocks queen 9 and queen 10. So it's
snap fold good.
Man, I really like how fast this guy plays. He's crazy good.
Yeah. So I'm saying that. So we are heads up in one, three-handed in the other, 50K, and here 6, 7, 2 nines. Bonomo's hit a fair amount of sets, and Zhong Yang, who went for that, looks like trap pre-flop, didn't get a biter, no customer, and Bonomo knows that, yeah, Queen 10 beats me, but let's go for some value. Set, very strong hand, and Zhong Yang, it just has no way to release at this moment, for sure. Pretty clear check call from how it seems. Depending on some runouts, an ace or a king could put him in trouble, but that card, still ace-king, gotta feel pretty solid. It's gotta feel pretty good. Definitely like a 10 queen gonna kill some of the action. 10 or queen will also give outs. As it stands, 0% on the turn. Justin just thinking what to do here. I definitely got to go for a bet. There's your third place finisher on the 50K short deck. His son is Zhong Yang right here looking on. Didn't have to walk far. He turned his back, and he is sweating the action now. He got a well, we're playing buying in pounds. This is chips, a million chip bet. And if you're going to limp an ace-king, you're kind of at the top of your range here. And he is on the hook. And depending on the river, there are some troublesome cards. An ace, a king in particular. There could be some cards that could get him. This is one that is going to look like a bad card for Zhong Yang, but in reality, likely is going to get it to check and keep the damage low. But we'll put Bonomo into the lead. So he does check back. Says king, and he just shakes his head. Bonomo letting him know.
Opponent to fold like an ace rag, some king 10 offsuits.
All in.
Is gonna jam. Xu Liang's got the king queen. He snapped it last time. What about this one? Snapped it again. He knows.
I mean, this guy. I need an emote on my channel for this guy.
Xu Liang
I might
emote.
change the Phil Lock matrix to the Liang. This man's a hero. And 9-10 suited though. This is a.
It's a good semi bluff for sure.
Yeah.
100%. Bonomo got him out chipped 2-1. Xu Liang is at risk.
Who is Yang rooting for at this point? Do you go for the knockout, or do you think Liang's just too tough as he got too much zen in him?
Well, on that flop,
Wow.
it looks like it's all Bonomo. Trip 10s. Xu Liang needs some good running cards to stay in this tournament.
Doesn't flinch. Doesn't even breathe. Do we get a sweat?
Is there a sweat? There's always a sweat,
Until
and there
there's not.
isn't this time. We're going to lose Xu Liang in
This guy.
third place. 1.2 million pounds. Everyone gets additional 600,000 pounds. It's 1.835 guarantee as we go into heads-up play between Justin Bonomo and Zhong Yang. What do you
This
think
guy,
about Xu Liang's
He's
play?
a legend. I mean, this guy is honestly one of the best poker performances I've ever seen. And it's just it's so unique. It's so special. The trophy, the ceremony, the whole deal. It's short deck. It's the celebrate event. It's essentially the main event for short deck in the world. It is. It's 100K buy-in main event. There's nowhere else you can say there's something like that.
Jack does take the lead. Bonomo does have an open and a straight draw that gives him a ton of equity.
Nine, 10, Jack 7. Yeah, this is where, heads up, it's just so much more special. And this is It's a nice card. Just gives you a little extra comfort. You're losing like some queen kings, ace queen, just a bunch of stuff. I mean, you're just 2 pair now. Feels better.
I'd like to see a value bet here. Seems so unlikely. Your opponent has you beat. It's heads up. Ranges are wide. People definitely like to hero call a little bit more in heads up. It's $1 million. With 10-9, you beat the clubs and you beat the 10x that doesn't have a pair, which is ace 10 exactly.
Yeah, and the clubs, no one ever really reps club, like goes for clubs or flushes. They just don't happen. So I think this is he's gonna re-raise.
Bonomo is so sick. He's been doing these check raises. They didn't work against Xu Liang earlier.
That's probably in the back of his mind, right? It's like he's not bluffing this time. We just saw this air ball. It might work out for him.
Bonomo had a game plan going into this heads-up match, especially after that break. Be a sick. This is a sick call too, if he can make it. It's a very weak 2 pair.
Yes, it is.
You're not holding any blockers to the straight. Time extension being used.
I saw chip flicking. I thought that was the gangster call, the one.
Nah,
chip.
it is time extension. We are playing for shot clock. Bonomo just hoping for a fold. It's a 5x check raise.
I mean, I'm just shocked if he makes this call. He gets what he wants, but it's just like, it's just so, you know, it's even in terms of like game control, you sort of almost end it, but when you are wrong, it's just like everything's back. But that's the nature of the heads up. You got to close it out somehow.
This would be a sick call. He's thinking, okay, when Bonomo makes it this big, is he only representing King 10? Would he make it this big with 10-8? What about Queen Jack, a set? I don't think he'd make it this big with a set or Queen Jack, so it seems very straight heavy.
Calls?
Oh
Come
my
on, man.
God,
Come on, man.
Young.
This is some crazy stuff. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I can proceed out here. This is like what they get it right every time. Why King Yang and Liang? They're just right.
Oh man, Bonomo.
What?
One heads up match and it's all in from Bonomo. Why King Yang thinking about it with mid pair and straight draw, actually behind despite having the current best hand.
Well,
it's a c-bet jam. It's an overbet c-bet jam. That is tough. It really does look very Queen Jack, King Jack heavy, but makes the call.
wow.
Wow.
Whoa. Bonomo will be the favorite.
Can you believe that Bonomo is actually the favorite here? This is very
I'm a
surprising.
little. Well, I see how he's.
Always hoping his opponent had an overpair, knowing the math. Richard Young is back over here. He's railing another.
This is for history. I mean, this is for the 4th Triton championship for.
And this one is special
for
because it's his
King
son.
Yang. Yeah. Wow, for history.
And there's a champ.
This is a crazy lot going on here, this board.
So this is back-to-back all-ins on 2 different final tables.
Big moment here. Bonomo's looking for his rail.
He has got no one on his side.
On this particular case, oh my goodness.
Spice.
This
so
is a
much
super
spice.
spice.
Pay the board. 6, 9, 10, 8.
They're thinking of the good cards.
You got to
This
pair the
is
board.
Wild. I don't even know what's going on. He's still the favorite with 1 card to come behind. To the
Let's
river.
see it.
River is. Oh. What is
Bonomo
it?
hit a pair of jacks to take
Wow.
the hand, beats the pair of 9s.
Wow. And that is. Yep. He is.
Hold in.
Queen Jack.
All in. I think Queen Jack's going to make the call here. Here's the call. Bonomo won with Queen Jack earlier to save his tournament life. Can he suck out against the Ace Jack? He's got 35% equity. Wykin is at risk after having 25 million. Richard Young is back in the mix. Lang Yu, Michael Soiza,
He's got the
Devon Tang.
boys.
Can the ace-jack hold for the Malaysian? Bonomo closes out. He's been grinding it out. Let's see that flop coming. Oh,
little
it's
extra
sweaty.
something. It is definitely sweaty. Nice to still have the lead, but that hand is, you know that there are some
That's a lot
tricky
of spice.
scenarios. 2-1. Jungle loves that spice word. It is. There's spice. Oh my
10 on the
goodness.
turn is the nut
Oh,
straight.
so he knows. He says you can still chop, but
With a
that's the only
queen.
option. He had the hearts too. He came with a suited hand. Oh my goodness
God,
gracious!
did we just chop?
Was that just a? Is this? It's not meant to end that.
It's short deck. We're gonna play forever.
Wow.
This is an epic heads-up match so
Wow.
far.
Bonomo-
He tried to close out the same hand, Queen Jack.
The thing is, Bonomo knows how hard it is to close matches, right? It's like he feels he's lean, and that's mentally. You have to hunker back in. There's an 800,000 pounds or so on the line,
wait,
plus
was
the
that-
title.
Sorry, no.
Jack, I don't think the ace-8 of clubs can go anywhere. Too strong of a hand. He makes the call. Another exact coin flip going on. Can
Yeah.
Bonomo close it out this time? Or we're going to get another sweaty, spicy flop.
Let's see.
Oh, Richard Young's back. Come back, Ling
Get the
Yu.
boys. They get round them up. They're getting stronger. The rail's getting stronger
Oh, man.
each time. And Bonomo's still looking for anyone in town that he knows.
There's no one on Bonomo's side, but Bonomo's got the cards.
That is a paint. Oh, sees the 8 in there.
There's a lot of spicy turn cards.
He doesn't like it. Bonomo doesn't feel it right now. He sees that is definitely not. He would redo the flop if he could.
Oh, that is some
Goodness, that
spice.
feel. Look, dude, the
46%.
it just shot up. All these cards flew onto the screen, like bedazzled, bejeweled. What's that game? Things just happen. Just huge spot, huge turn. Oh my
and it's
goodness!
over. Justin Bonomo
He did
wins.
The card hit me in the deck heads up.
Short deck main
He played
event.
really, really well.
Of course, Waikin Yon played very well. Congratulations to Waikin for getting second place. He won a lot of money. Almost got
Huge
back-to-back champion. Only 3 titles for him. Justin Bonomo gets 2 titles. Wins the short deck main. That was a crazy 3-handed match. A crazy heads-up.